Hello YouTubers, this is Anthony Mwambazi coming back to you with our short series videos of our installations. This evening I'm excited to show you a Sunsynk 5 kilowatts still on backup mode, yet to be put with panels. We have paired up the Sunsynk with the 5-star 7.6 battery. It uses a straight cable, and dip switch 1 is your cue and it will communicate. So I'm just going to quickly go through with you. You go to your settings and you look for LIBMS. Voila, there we go. The battery is communicating efficiently. We're quite excited, and we have a fuse disconnector at 160 amp fuse disconnector with 125 fuses to protect the cable we have here. We have a 50 millimeter cable running between the two, just because we can do it. And then moving right along, we've got our AC protection box. As usual, we have our 40 amp mains breaker. SPD, they work together. Should that clamp, it causes that to short to protect your expensive equipment. Along, we have a changeover switch. As you could see, it's well labeled. We've got inverter at the bottom and we've got ESCOM at the bottom. The reason why we put a manual changeover switch is basically if we're doing maintenance, we should pick up a fault on the inverter on the system. We can bypass the system, take it out for repairs or do some cleaning whatsoever, because the inverter itself has a changeover switch within that happens in 10 milliseconds. So you don't need to get an automatic changeover switch. Moving along, we have a 25 amp breaker as our input and our 20 amp output as our output from the main inverter. If you check on your nameplate, it's got your readings, what it requires, and it's just basically for warranty purposes. If you don't have the right breaker rating for the system, you might lose your warranties. And then, yeah, moving right along. So basically, this is the system. I will just touch a bit on it. So it's got my favorite organogram that explains the routing of how ESCOM comes in. As you could see, ESCOM coming in at 230, 50 Hz at 590. And at the moment, right now, that's the amperage and the wattage we have. It's a bit late in the evening, so we don't have panels pushing down. We've got the battery charging up to 100% because it's a backup system. And then also we've got these turbines that one represents your solar levels and your AC loads and your grid loads and as your battery load. So here's the interesting part. There's two areas. If you press on the grid, it gives you the energy for the month. It's actually the AC load, my apologies. So AC load gives you a bit synopsis of what's happening, and there's our CT. So if the CT was upside down, we call it a current transformer. That does not allow the system to feed power back to the grid. If it shows that number, that's perfect, but if it shows a minus number, then you know it's pushing back to the grid. You could either change the wiring inside here or flip the switch around to face the correct direction. And you get a bit more detail on that part. So you could get the same thing on your battery turbine as well. Gives you just about the same. And with this inverter on your gear icons, you've got system mode. That's where end users would love to play either on their phone or physically on the inverter. This is basically a timer. So if you untick that timer use, it behaves like an off-grid and it bypasses all timer settings. It starts to discharge and then recharge until you tell it to. So on this timer, we've got our time frame from 1 to 21 to actually midnight, where you could set your battery ratios either according to voltage or percentage ratios. Then moving right along on this same system mode, we've got system 2. Just wanted to show you something. I've rarely spoken about zero export. So in Johannesburg, this is how you want your settings to be, specifically if the system is a backup. However, if it's got some solar power, you probably want to add priority load so it can supplement what ESCOM is providing. And then whenever you change any settings on this inverter, always remember to press OK. And also one more important thing we've never really spoken about, since we've been doing videos, is you have your distribution board here. You have your main switch. So in cases of emergency, if you switch that main switch off, ESCOM disappears. However, your inverter still pushes power into the property. So in a case of emergency, what you want to do is you want to switch off your mains breaker first, and then switch your output by isolating your loads. And then that cuts all the power in the property. And then you come alongside here. If it's really urgent, if the problem is with the battery side, then you can go ahead and pull that faster out to isolate the battery from the inverter, and the inverter shuts down. And those are the basic three main areas when a fireman rushes to your property. He wants to see those things for compliance's sake. Well, YouTubers, I think I've gone a bit over time. Very exciting with this series. We've never seen this happen, but it is happening. Well, it's Anthony Mwambazi. You can catch me on 082 3427 946. 082 3427 946. Anthony Mwambazi from Antec Technical Services. Signing out. Enjoy.